everyone. Welcome to episode 42 of Sketch Support. If you are new here, Sketch Support is all about showing how you can adapt and customize sketches to work for your needs. It all starts with a new free sketch that you can download at Scrapbook Generation, and I'll link to it down below. Then I take the sketch and create multiple layouts from it, with each layout looking completely different. As I create these layouts, I might adjust the sketch to accommodate different photo sizes or amounts, different themes, and sometimes I infuse my own unique ideas that were inspired by either the sketch, my photos, or theme. You'll see that there are always ways to make a sketch work for you and your needs. There's also a 3-page PDF that has 23 bonus sketch examples, all based on this one sketch. This provides a visual to many changes and adaptations you can make to the sketch. The best part is that you can mix and match the different ideas within that PDF for endless ideas for this particular design, and I'll link to it in the video description down below. So let's go ahead and start with a look at the sketch that I've used as the starting point for each layout in this video. The sketch this month is one that I've been kind of sitting on for a while. I tend to make a lot of sketches that get set aside for later. Most of the time, those sketches are a result of me just kind of playing around. Sometimes in the evenings when my husband and I are just kind of chilling in the living room, I find that I like to have something secondary to do as we watch TV. A lot of times it's when I'm adding the stitching on my layouts, but it's also a time that I'll get out my laptop and start playing around with designing sketches or maybe cut files. Many times these sketches aren't made for anything specific, so I just put them in a folder for later use. And I don't remember how long ago I made this particular sketch, but it's been at least a few years. So this sketch features a large square background with 2 rows of 3x3-inch photos and squares in the middle. The photos and squares have spacing between them, and then the rows are offset so the details don't line up with each other. They also stretch to the left and right edges, and those end pieces are trimmed to fit. Then on some of those squares, there are smaller photos and some hearts and the journaling. One of the things I love about designs like this is that I see each square as its own little mini layout that I can add different details and embellishments to. And because of the structure of the arrangement, you can go super detailed on those squares and it doesn't overpower or take away from the importance of the photos. I also love that you can easily adapt the design to include more or less photos depending on what you have to work with. You could easily replace any square with another photo or replace any photo with another square. So it's a super easy substitution. So now that we've seen the sketch, let's dive into the layouts that I created from it. One of the first thoughts I had when it came to using the sketch was creating a comic book style of layout. So that is exactly what I did with my first layout. I have been saving these photos for this sketch and that very purpose. With this layout, I followed the core sketch design really close, even though I made lots of minor changes throughout. For my background, I went with a single sheet of black pattern paper instead of the double square background. I always feel like changing up backgrounds is an easy way to subtly alter the sketch design. You can always add more or less, or even change the shape. Sometimes you can break it up into smaller pieces if you want to include more colors or patterns in the design, or you can just remove it altogether. The background is almost always an easy adjustment on a sketch. So on the sketch, all of the corners of the details are rounded, but I decided to go with straight edges on everything. I felt like the straight edges went a little better with the theme I was working with. And honestly, I feel like either straight or rounded would work with this theme, but I personally like the straight edge better for this one. I wanted the squares to look like the frames of each section in a comic book. Speaking of those frames, I also added a small black mat to every single square and photo, just like those boxes and frames that are in a comic book. Then to really highlight the arrangement with small margins in between those squares, I added a white background to the whole thing. And this white really helped me there in making those different frames stand out. I also knew I wanted to add the zigzag stitching to the edge, and this gave me more allowance for that. I didn't want the stitching to go into the squares and photos, so instead it could go through that background piece of cardstock. Another extra detail I added was the red border strips along the top and bottom edges of the white background piece. I loved the idea of adding a pop of color on the black background, and I remembered I had this notebook border punch that felt so perfect for a comic book theme. So I punched the design out of a red paper and then adhered it above and below the photos. And this was also perfect for that zigzag stitching. On top of the squares that have the embellishments on them, I added another smaller square of pattern paper and then tilted it. I wanted to include more colors and patterns, so this was an easy way to do that. Then I swapped out those hearts on the sketch with superhero words and details. These superhero cut files are one of my absolute all-time favorites. They are made by Miss Kate Cuttables, and I got them from the Silhouette Design Store. They are so cute and perfect for layouts like this. And because they are so detailed, I mean, there are so many layers to these. I didn't really need anything else on those squares other than I added a few teeny tiny punched black stars. And another small change I made was moving the journaling to the top edge instead of on one of the squares. I wanted those superhero die cuts to have their moment without anything else on top of them. So this was an easy change, and I didn't have to adjust anything else to make that work. For my second layout with this sketch, I made some adaptations to accommodate different photo sizes. And these photo sizes are quite a bit different from the sketch, but there are almost always ways to make your photos work one way or another. It just takes a little adjusting here and there. Now, the photos on this layout always put a smile on my face. Drew, my oldest son, is a little hard-headed, especially with his dad, and his dad loves to give him advice. And I'll just say, as you can probably see in the photos, it is not always well received. But the facial expressions always make me laugh, and I was so glad I captured these while we were at a restaurant for dinner. And both Drew and Mike laughed at the title and the sarcastic yay part of it. So starting with the background, I did something slightly different than the sketch. I really loved this wood pattern paper, especially with the stars in the corners, and I wanted more of it to show. I also didn't want to waste the middle part of it by using the whole paper as my base. So instead I made a frame with it. I used my Silhouette to cut out the middle square, and then I adhered this frame on top of the white ledger paper. And so now I have the middle square cut out to use on another layout. So I mentioned earlier that I made some big changes with the photo arrangement for this one. With this set of photos, I had 2 6x4 inch photos and then 3 2x2 inch photos. And I don't know what I had in mind when I had edited and cropped these photos years ago, but I do know that when I was going through my printed photos and came across these, I knew I could make it work with this sketch design. So I trimmed the 6x4" photos down a little bit and added a double mat to them. And then I placed them in a row that reaches from the left to the right edge of the layout. And then I added a row of 2x2" photos and squares along the top that also go to the left and right edges of the layout. And unintentionally, this photo block and the squares ended up being the same height as the block of squares and photos on the sketch. So I didn't need to make any major adjustments for this to work within that same space. So for my embellishments, I happened to come across these chipboard speech bubbles, and they were so perfect for this theme. So I worked to include them in several areas on the sketch. I used one for the title, one for the journaling, and then 2 more to add embellishments onto the squares. And I added different embellishments like stars, word and phrase stickers, and I even had these 2 little mail icons. A slight change I made to the journaling was I moved it to one of the squares on the right. I needed that larger speech bubble for the journaling, and I liked how Mike is speaking in that photo. So I thought it would be a fun little detail. I also moved my title to the bottom left, and again, I liked the idea of this speech bubble becoming a part of the photo, so that placement felt like a really good fit. For my third layout of the week, I adapted the 1-page sketch design to work on a 2-page layout. I also made some changes to the photo sizes to better fit what I had to work with. This one looks quite a bit different from the original sketch design, but you can still see that core of it at work here. When it comes to adapting a sketch for a different size of layout, more specifically a 1-page sketch into a 2-page layout, there are several ways to make it work. For this layout, I chose to extend the design by adding more repeating elements to match the first page, which means I repeated the squares and photos across that second page. That row has extended from 1 page to now 2 pages. So with this set of photos, I had 3 4x4" photos and 2 3x3" photos. So the 4x4" photos couldn't be cropped any smaller, so I went with that as my base size for the whole row instead of the 3x3" size on the sketch. And then I added 3 4x4" squares of pattern paper to fill out the rest of the row. 2 of those squares were perfect mats for the 3x3" photos. To complete a design similar to the sketch with 2 rows of squares and photos, I would have needed more photos. And while I did have 2 more photos, they just didn't work as squares. So instead, I went with just 1 row. And this actually worked out well since the photos and squares are larger. And then to add a little more detail to the row, I also added some horizontal accent strips. Since I reduced the size of the design, I liked the idea of adding more detail with some accent strips. So that single row design also worked well for my idea with the 2 remaining photos I had with this set. I wanted to keep these 2 photos as 3x5". So to help work them into the design, I shifted the row of squares and photos down to the bottom edge and then added the 2 3x5" photos at the top edge, slightly tucked under those strips. I also moved my title up here with those 2 photos. Since I had shifted all of these photos down, I didn't have a lot of room for the title at the bottom like you see on the sketch. So this felt like a good place for it instead. Now, when it came to the background, I decided to go with the white space instead of the background pieces you see on the sketch. I loved the idea of this large amount of white space on this layout with those adjustments I made, but sometimes I get a little tripped up over so much white space. I like it, but then for some reason I start doubting it. I think that's pretty common for a lot of us. White space can be a little intimidating sometimes. So a common trick I like to do is add a stitched background, usually the same color as the base paper, and this adds a subtle detail that also eases the boldness of the large amount of white space. To create this stitch design, I arranged a bunch of arrows in Silhouette Design Studio and used the sketch feature with a pencil to sketch the design onto my base cardstock. And then I pierced the holes along the pencil lines, erased the pencil lines, and then stitched through it all with a back stitch. And I loved the way this turned out. It really helped that white space, for me anyway, to not be so jarring and overwhelming. So that's all for this episode of Sketch Support. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.